oh my lord, am I ready to talk about this movie. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back into another episode of We Need to Talk About. My name is Jack. I am your host. Today, we are talking about a movie that I was heavily anticipating, Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Before we get into it, a lot of people have been watching these videos as of late, and I really do appreciate it. It means the absolute world. If you're new, this is your first time watching a video, click that subscribe button. Let's grow the channel. I do videos like this pretty much every week. Don't miss out, so subscribe. All right, that's it for the sub plugs. That's it for all that. Let's get into the brass tacks. I'm going to read the synopsis for you guys because I know people have been asking for it. And then we're going to get into basic information. Then I'm going to get into my review. So let's get it going. As the world fell, young Furiosa is snatched from the green place of many mothers and falls into the hands of the great Biker Horde, led by the Warlord Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth. Sweeping through the Wasteland, they come across the Citadel, presided over by Immortan Joe. While the two Tyrants war for dominance, Furiosa must survive many trials as she puts together the means to find her way home. Created, written, directed, all of the above by the mastermind that is George Miller, and stars Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth. Those are our two big stars of the show. All right, where do I even begin? I loved this movie. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I want to just say just off the top, okay? Just off the top. If you have an IMAX theater or a Dolby theater or a 4X, whatever you want to call it, theater near you, go watch this movie in whatever the best format is that is near you. This film demands to be seen on the biggest and loudest screens possible. I got to see it in IMAX. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was an experience I will never forget. The visuals are stunning. The action is incredible. It's what you have come to expect, just like a Fury Road, and that needs to be seen on the biggest screen possible. And if you have the opportunity to see it in IMAX, do it in IMAX. This film was shot for IMAX. Do it in IMAX. Watch it in IMAX. You need to see it in IMAX. Please go watch this movie. It's absolutely fantastic. George Miller. It says in the trailer from the mastermind George Miller, and I kind of agree here. He is a mastermind. For him to come up with these absolute batshit crazy ideas for action, for weapons, for story characters, for designs of characters, and this world, the world building, the character building, and all of the above, for George Miller to come up with all of this is just incredible. We don't see stuff like this that often. And George Miller just has a way of coming up with the most absolute bonkers ideas and being able to put them to screen. It really is something to behold. And I think that George Miller deserves a lot of credit here for not only crafting another bonkers, action-packed thrill ride, but also crafting, I would say, a more complex, more in-depth character study in this film as opposed to Fury Road. I love Mad Max Fury Road. It's an incredible movie. It is a feast for the eyes. It's one of the most incredible action movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I do think there can be some criticisms, though, about maybe the depth of the movie and maybe some of the writing of the movie, and I can understand that. I think this movie is that more in-depth, more focused movie, if that makes sense. I really like the journey that we go on with Furiosa here. How we learn about this character and how she became what we saw of her in Fury Road. I think going through her entire saga was gripping. It was compelling. It was emotional. You lose everything and you have to claw your way out and become your own kick-ass warrior. And I thought that was absolutely so well executed and just done in a way that was epic. And Chris Hemsworth's character says in this, like, something I'm paraphrasing here, but like, do you have the balls to make it epic? And this film is an epic telling of this incredibly resilient warrior that is Furiosa. So I really did not have much issue with the writing here. I think the first hour, this movie clocks in at just under 2.5 hours. I believe it was 2:28 is what this movie clocks in at. The first hour is slow. There are some pacing issues, but I think we really do lay a very solid groundwork here of why Furiosa is the way that she is in Mad Max Fury Road. It did exactly what you needed to do in a prequel. It did. It did exactly what you're asking. But also, on the other hand, this could be a movie all on its own. Yes, it does tee up Mad Max Fury Road. It does at the end. But if you cut out the last 2 minutes of the movie, this is an epic solo story about Furiosa, and you could live with that. It just so happens that her character is elevated even more in Fury Road, but it's a singular story that you don't need more bonus material to enjoy. And I really like that. I like how movies can do that, like where you're focusing on the story at hand, not on whatever comes in the future. And I hate to be that guy, but I think that's an issue that, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has run into, where you're not focusing on the singular story, you're focusing more on the extended universe, and then you make a bunch of stuff that's not good. That's my issue with that, but that's a story for another day. So, writing, I really enjoy. Performances, my God. Anya Taylor-Joy is picture perfect here as Furiosa. She brings this stoicism, this absolute grit, and just badassery, if that even is a word, to this role. Like, she was born to play this role. And she did it in a way that was so believable. This is a very physical performance, if you know what I mean when I say physical performance. This was an incredibly physical performance, and I felt like she took it in stride and delivered. I mean, she was just phenomenal from start to finish. We also had a younger version of Furiosa. I don't have her name in front of me, and I apologize. She was fantastic as well. But once we do get to Anya Taylor-Joy's part where she is introduced as an older Furiosa, that's when the movie really kicked it up a notch for me. And that's when we really started to get into some of the good stuff, if that makes sense. Chris Hemsworth, people have been saying it, and I didn't believe it at first. I was like, oh, come on, there's no way. But I gotta agree, this is a career best performance for Chris Hemsworth. He's incredible as Dementus. He's so good. Like I said, I did not buy that hype going in, but he brings such a brooding, not even brooding. Brooding is a horrible word. Why did I say brooding? Because he's so out there. He's so bombastic and over the top and devious and just icky. That's a horrible word to use, but it works here. I mean, he's just disgusting and over the top, and just he plays this role so well. I need more Chris Hemsworth villain roles, and I know that everyone's saying that on film Twitter, but I agree. I second that motion, because when he gets to play the villain and kind of do what he wants, he absolutely destroys. I loved this character. I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was scary. I thought he was evil. All of the above. And it played so well into this absolute batshit crazy nature that these movies are. He knew the assignment, and he absolutely ate it up, and he did not leave any crumbs, and he was absolutely phenomenal. Performance across the board, good. No notes, really enjoyed them. I thought they were all fantastic. The direction, I've kind of already hit on. I think George Miller absolutely kills it. He does. He destroys it. Like, this is fantastic. The action here, while there's not as much as Fury Road, like Fury Road is just a straight up action movie and it's in your face. While there's more story substance here than just action, the action here is so well executed. Like, you know what you're gonna get. I don't even need to say, like, the action is just that good. It's top tier, best that we've seen action. There's some spotty CGI, yes, but that didn't kill it for me. I think to the core, most of it being done practically, most of it, being done with all the stunt people, like, it bangs, it hits you in the face, it slaps you, it absolutely punches you, and it knocks you out. It's some of the best action I've seen this year, and it's some of the best action I'm going to see all year. I absolutely was on the edge of my seat. And for a movie that's almost 2.5 hours, it's hard to do that. But this movie, when it got to the action, it absolutely gripped me. I was biting fingernails. It was the meme. It's the meme where he's sitting back, but then he's sitting forward. That was me when the action sequences were happening. So hats off to Miller, and hats off to all the behind the scenes, because the technical, I gave a 15 out of 15, and I thought this was one of the best technical things we've seen this year. I mean, Dune Part 2, nothing's going to beat Dune Part 2 in terms of techs, but this is a close second, I think. I think it was absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. Costume design, set design, the editing was great, sound design was awesome. The sound design was really great, especially in IMAX. I'd actually love to see this in Dolby, just for the sound. Just chef's kiss all around. Just great. There's just nothing more to say about it. So yeah, at the end of the day, Furiosa is, I think, a film that has more substance than Fury Road in terms of story and character development, which I really enjoyed. It's got more kick-ass action that you have learned to love, and has some career best-ish, not for Anya Taylor-Joy, but I think is close, but definitely career best performance for Chris Hemsworth. It's got some of the best performances that I've seen this year. I highly recommend it. I gave it a 93 out of 100. And like I said, if you have the opportunity, if there is an IMAX theater near you, go watch it in IMAX. This film is a spectacle that begs you to watch it on the biggest screen possible. And I cannot stress enough how this movie is a feast for the eyes, and it needs to be seen on the biggest screen possible. I really liked it, if you can't tell. So make sure you go watch it. That's it. I don't have much more to say. I think I kind of covered it. This film deals with a lot of really interesting subjects, and I think at the end of it, like, hope is one of the big themes, and how no matter how hard you get beaten down, if you keep hope, you can accomplish a lot. And I know it sounds cheesy, but at the core, that's a lot of what this movie's about. It's about rising above and staying hopeful, because even when it gets incredibly bleak, you can still fight through. And I liked that a lot about this movie. I thought that in the middle of this absolutely desolate wasteland, there was still some hope at the end of the day. Maybe that's a little bit of a tacky, cheesy way to end it, but I absolutely loved it and thought it was fantastic. Go down to the comments and let me know. What'd you think of Furiosa? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know why. Let's get down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Want to hear your thoughts. Like I said at the beginning of the video, a lot more people have been watching these videos, which I really appreciate. It means the absolute world. It is pushing me to make even more videos for you guys on this channel, talking about the movies that I really enjoy. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, please consider subscribing. We're trying to grow this channel. I have the goal of getting to 5,000 subs by the end of the year. It's a lofty goal. I think we can do it though. So if you've not already subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. I'm doing videos like this basically every single week, talking about the new releases and the movies that I really enjoy. All right, that's pretty much it. The last thing I will plug is make sure you follow me on social media, Twitter, but Instagram is the biggest and best place to follow me for film content. That is all linked down below in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things you do on YouTube. Just do them. It helps me. It helps the channel. It helps us grow. It helps the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, go watch Furiosa and watch it on the biggest screen possible. You will not regret it. I promise you, you will not regret it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year so far, and I think it'll be one of yours as well. That's pretty much it, guys. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.